Other than that, apologies for absence. I'll move to item number 2. Do we have any apologies for absence?
No apologies, Chair.
No apologies received. So we got Deputy Mayor Blake for lateness. We sometimes are joined by Mayor Biggs. And I know also Deputy Mayor Nicholson may join us online later. Declarations of interest. We are all board members of the LLDC, I suppose, in terms of leaders, but that's probably recorded elsewhere. The non-confidential minutes of the previous meeting on the 13th of September 2021. Are we happy to agree those? With any points that colleagues wanted to pick up? Agreed, thank you. Yeah, it was a chorus of agreement. The terms of reference in item 6, so colleagues will recall over the previous 2 meetings, I think we adopted them formally at the last meeting, having had an extensive discussion. Are we still content with the terms of reference? Content? Yeah, so noting. So we're going to have a pregnant pause while we wait for Deputy Mayor Blake, I think. I will fill that airtime slightly by saying I think one of the great strengths of the partnership is it's not formally sort of chaired by any one borough. It's a real partnership effort. I know it officially sits within our governance services here at Hackney. It's hosted by Hackney, but I think we said at the very start it should rotate. And I'm very excited. We have reached the rotation moment, and at some point shortly we will nominate and elect a new chair to take us forward into the new municipal year. So that's really exciting.
Can you hear me okay now? Great. In terms of the rotation setup, once elected, at what point does the incoming chair start? Is that at the start of the new municipal year? So it will be after, right, okay, great. Brilliant. So not today, that's all I wanted to know.
It's not, we're not. We should do a full formal, you know, ermine, parade out, parade back in affair. Yeah, give over the keys to the town hall.
Okay, let's do that.
And I think we're looking forward to coming to Stratford, and I know we've had many of our meetings there as we sort of reformed the partnership. So of Peter.
Right. Okay. Great.
When you are there. Yeah, we will be. We'll get there. We'll be a hybrid affair. So we await Deputy Mayor Blake. I should say, obviously, we had 25 minutes allocated, so we're sort of well within that comfort zone, I think, for governance purposes. At least it's not a situation where the incoming chair bursts through the door and we have to install them straight into the position.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we bring the gavel with us, though, Mayor Fiaz. I'm not sure we bring. You might need your own.
I don't actually know where mine is in. Yeah, I think the chair of council has one.
Yeah. Well, this is. Yeah.
Yeah, and whenever I have cabinet meetings, there used to be one in the old East Ham Town Hall chamber, but
someone's hitting it.
Yeah.
Well, before the pandemic, in cabinet, we would sit there, not up here. So until we moved back to the council chamber after the lapse of the regulations, I'd never sat in this chair before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's
And is it a constitutional requirement that you sit on that chair?
no, I would be down there.
Right.
This is the Speaker's chair.
Mm.
I don't personally like being up here, but you know.
It looks very heavy. It's beautiful, actually. The whole chamber's really beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's just absolutely glorious. And how many does it seat?
I think it's a capacity of just over 100.
Right. Okay.
So we don't. The full U is not used, so we would only go round to about there, and then the Conservatives sit there. And in social distancing, we've used the gallery for members, so there's a roving mic up there, and then we use the committee room to expand some access, and the public come in and leave again. It works quite well.
Annual council meetings, what do? Do you use this chamber?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. And then there's a live stream.
Right.
And then
we've got slightly, I mean, the thing is we've got quite a similar chamber in size, but I can see you've got much better ventilation, you've got a big gallery. We had to move our full council to Waltham Forest College next door last week.
Right.
And it just threw absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You know, all your normal kind of protocols. It's fine, but it wasn't the chamber.
Yeah, we now start using the main halls in Stratford for full council meetings.
It's really different, isn't it?
Alternate, yeah. And it just does throw because you're having to plan how to shape a room appropriately.
It's different when you do speeches.
Yeah.
Very, very
I should
different.
switch off.
So we're still waiting for Deputy Mayor Blake for residents watching at home and obviously officers and colleagues that have joined on the live stream. We were just discussing what we will do coming out of this meeting is just take a look at the terms of reference, maintain that chorusy figure, but I think look to see if through chair urgency powers that the committee doesn't currently possess, if we update the terms of reference at the next meeting, just so that we can deal with situations like this and keep business moving. Clearly, we also, I think, could probably note the mood of the meeting and recognise probably the direction of travel and find a route either at the very start of the next meeting to just endorse Mayor Fiaz as the new chair, or just formally take that decision then. This is, you know, a partnership of equals, so I think we really do want to make sure that we get that right. I think the hardest bit to do, unfortunately, because we're moving into private business, would be reopen the public meeting element when Deputy Mayor Blake arrives. I don't think that's going to really be possible, unfortunately. So what I will do, we've got 4 minutes technically still allocated to the public element of this meeting. I'm going to go back to mute, hold off for a second, see if Deputy Mayor Blake does arrive, and then we will resolve this all now. If not, at 9:55, we'll move into the private session. I'll move the motion to do so. So we'll go back to So I think regrettably, as we're moving to 9:55, we will do as I just suggested and defer that to the next meeting, but look at the urgency procedures within the terms of reference and then just very quickly endorse our position. But I think it's a fairly public secret that we look forward to handing over the chair to Newham and to Mayor Fiaz, subject to the election. And obviously, she and I can work in between if there was anything that happened that required the partnership to agree anything between meetings. So I need to find my point of reference on So I'm going to propose the resolution under item 7 for the exclusion of public and press. The resolution is that the press and public be excluded from the proceedings of the Joint Committee during consideration of exempt items 8 to 13 on the agenda on the grounds that it's likely in the view of the nature of the business to be transacted. I will pause. My Deputy Mayor Blake, do find your seat. Where in there, we just want to appoint Mayor Fiaz as chair. So we're returning to item 1. As we mentioned earlier in the meeting, the chair of the Joint Committee rotates on an annual basis. We're at that moment and we're seeking to endorse Newham and Mayor Fiaz, subject to the election, taking over as chair of the Joint Committee, but we need the agreement of the 4 boroughs. So are we agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. And thank you very much for that. So moving back to the proposed resolution that the press and public be excluded from the proceedings of the Joint Committee during consideration of exempt items 8 to 13 on the agenda on the grounds that it is likely in the view of the nature of the business to be transacted. There were members of the public to be present, there would be a disclosure of exempt business as defined in Part 1, Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972 as amended. Are we happy to agree the resolution? Agreed. Thank you, Mario.